Welcome to our podcast that's been named one of the very best in marketing research. This is Research Business Daily Report, the only daily research video blog which fills you in on the news you need. Please go to RBDR's exclusive community at the crowdfunding platform patreon.com/RBDR and lend your support. This is Bob Lederer, for more than 25 years, the respected voice in market research. This is episode 94 of our continuing series, Market Research in the COVID-19 Era. On it today, Eli Korn, the Chief Operating Officer for National Retail Solutions, explains why he has reason to feel good about his business in 2020. Sales and revenues emanating from inner-city convenience stores and bodegas tend to be overlooked in normal times, although they represent about $5 billion in annual sales. However, with job commutes in big cities essentially limited, the small urban consumer food buying outlets like C-stores and bodegas have become preferred and very much more important shopping locations. And that has made National Retail Solutions revenue data collection more important than usual. Eli will explain.
Thank you, Bob. I'd like to discuss the ways COVID-19 has impacted our company, National Retail Solutions, because what we have experienced is indicative of what has taken place within retail outlets, in our case, small urban independent outlets, users of store sales data, and marketers. National Retail Solutions hardware and software collects UPC-based transaction data in over 2,000 convenience stores in the New York DMA and over 9,000 across the country in major markets such as Los Angeles, Chicago, Atlanta, and Houston. Installed at these C-stores, we also present and engage consumers with our consumer-facing advertising solutions. NRS's offering also provides store owners remote monitoring of his or her store and, for the first time, an understanding of their consumers' purchasing behavior. Early on in the virus crisis, U.S. convenience stores were designated as essential services. And at NRS, we noticed that the COVID-19 lockdowns and closures were actually helping accelerate transactions in NRS client convenience stores. Data shows that as many people followed advice to stay home, these stores benefited from an uptick in consumer visits and sales. Consumers avoided busy supermarkets and, for safety's sake, made convenience stores a primary source for their grocery needs. For example, our data shows that these independent inner-city stores had a 30% month-to-month dollar sales increase from March through August 2020 versus the same period in 2019. Alcoholic beverages, as an example, experienced the greatest dollar gains, up close to 50%. That sharp increase in alcohol sales can be largely attributed to bar and nightclub closures in major U.S. cities. And that situation hasn't changed, unfortunately. Depending on where you live, sales remain significantly diminished at bars and nightclubs, as many are prohibited from offering indoor dining. Milk sales are up 25%, baking supplies 48%, and essentials like eggs, cereal, paper products, and poultry have all seen an increase above 30%. There have been other noteworthy changes as well. In-store advertising. With less people traveling or commuting to work, advertisers need new ways to reach consumers. Take New York City as an example. New York City subway ads became obsolete as riders going to work dried up. The sudden outpouring of urban populations into C-stores and bodegas transformed them into an attractive advertising opportunity. Point-of-sale advertising at checkout registers boomed. So our equipment has become even more valuable and popular to C-stores during the pandemic. Cities across the nation are doing all they can to reopen, but COVID-19 remains a dominant force that has seriously, in some cases temporarily, and in some cases, unfortunately, permanently, impacted consumer shopping behavior. Advertisers have known for a long time that convenience stores and bodegas are essential retail outlets in metropolitan communities. Now, with the big city residents continuing to stay close to home, the sales generated by C-stores and bodegas and the enhanced data they now offer are undeterred with a dramatic upswing. Reaching urban consumers where they shop has always been one of the most effective ways to stay top of mind with them and to influence their buying behaviors. But this retail sector has historically received the short end of the stick until now. With shoppers partially immobilized by COVID, the profile and importance of small, very local independent food outlets that represent the core of our business and account for billions of dollars in annual sales stands much taller in the U.S. marketplace. For us, it's worth pondering what lies ahead as the country, retailers, and consumers move on with their lives, alongside the stubborn coronavirus, in 2020, 2021, and potentially beyond. What will happen to shopper behavior and thereby the role of the NRS C-store transaction data in the short term and post-COVID? The new steady volume of novel data flowing from the retail segment we proudly serve has proven its value and will continue to do so for the short and long term as consumer behavior continues to adapt to the new world we live in.
Hey, we're in the latest stage of this special RBDR series, but we're still accepting your contributions for this coronavirus and research series, if you would like. If you know or have had an experience that has been something highly unusual in the research world in which you exist, please email those ideas and feelings to me at rflbob@gmail.com. That is a wrap for today's Research Business Daily Report. If you make it a habit to watch us either occasionally or all the time, we prefer the latter, of course, thank you. Because we assume that if you fall into either categories, you are finding RBDR to be time well spent. And we want to tell you, do not hesitate to recommend any of our videos and send them on to friends and peers who you think will benefit. We also hope you will consider becoming an RBDR Patreon supporter. Speaking of which, we thank our newest Patreon contributors, Matt Valley and William Leach. You too can do that at patreon.com/RBDR. So have a great research day. We hope that this has been a solid research week for you, whether you're selling or using research. Please enjoy your fall weekend, and we'll see you back here on Monday. From this point forward, until then, please stay safe.